everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our live video series, and today we are going to talk about the Hyundai Sonata N-Line. This is the one to buy. People ask my opinion all the time about which trim, which model, which thing should I buy. My opinion shouldn't matter to you. You should buy what's best for you. But if my opinion does matter to you, this is the one to buy. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So the way this works is we are actually filming this live. If you're not watching with us live at 2 o'clock on Thursday, the 8th, something like that. Yeah, the 8th of July. Then you can watch it with us later. And we're going to go really in depth. That's just kind of what we do here. We go crazy in depth. So what we do is we let our live audience build for the first 3 minutes. And then at the 3-minute mark, we'll get into the content. In the meantime, let's have a chat, and we'll show you how to join us live. We'll talk about some news and notes. And hey, Brandon just jumped on. He said, hey, everybody. Hey to Brandon. All right, so I'm going to show you how to join us live at 2 o'clock. And all you have to do is go to our YouTube page. You're probably already there. Refresh the page at exactly 2 o'clock Eastern time, which is what I'm doing right now. And you will see our live video take over the homepage, at least the very top part of the homepage. So we're going to click into that. When you do that, you're going to have to watch an ad, and I apologize for that. But meantime, you get to see me do an ad because this one's not for us on there. All right, so if you are in Ontario and you're looking to buy a car in Ontario, a Hyundai or Kia, reach out to me. As soon as this video is done, I'll have a link in the description. You can connect up with me. I will connect you up with my sales team. A number of you have done this already. Just very recently, this week has been busy for that. So that's great. Reach out to me. We'll connect you with our sales team, and we will help you out. I promise. It'll be good. All right, let's flip the camera back around. Well, we don't flip the camera back around. Hold on, give me 1 second here. Hey, yeah, we're good. All right, got a few people commenting in here. If you're joining us for the very first time, do me a favor, hit the like button and say hi. And yeah, what we're going to try to do is we got 17 people on right now. Blow my mind, 18 people on. See what happens if we all hit the like button at the exact same time. I guarantee you'll have more friends jump in on our live video. That's kind of what happens if we all hit the like button together. So give it a try. Let's see how it works. You got nothing to lose. It takes you this much time. All right, so we're going to do that. Let's say we've got 1 minute to go. So what's going on? Hyundai World, let's talk about that. Santa Cruz, pickup truck, sort of, but not a truck. Coming, and I'm going to have more video in depth on this channel than anybody. I promise you that. There'll be a lot of introduction stuff. They'll all review the media kit. They'll all give their opinions, and nobody will show you the detail that we'll show you. So we'll dig into that car in more detail. We'll really go through it, and that's coming soon. Yeah, Ioniq 5. A lot of you have been writing in to me about that. It's coming soon too. You can pre-order the car now, so we can talk about that. The N-Line, Elantra N. Somebody had some confusion, and it's valid confusion. There's a difference between N-Line and N in the Hyundai lineup. So N-Line Elantra is already out, but an N Elantra is coming from the sounds of it, so that'll be exciting. So lots of performance cars coming in the Hyundai lineup, and that kind of leads into what we're talking about today. So we're at the 3-minute mark. Here we go. All right, so this is the 2021 Hyundai Sonata, new platform for this generation of vehicle. And it is a very good platform. What the platform is basically the engine, transmission platform, everything that puts the car together. It's a very good platform. It handles very well anyways. But the one thing that Hyundai does that's interesting is they kind of have a Sonata for everyone, you know, assuming you're in the sedan market. They have a hybrid model. They have a lower trim level. They have a less powerful model. Each one is supposed to fill its own market. And here's how I break them down in really simple terms. There's a budget vehicle, and it's not a budget discount vehicle. It's just you can get more features in a car than you can in an SUV at the same price point. So if you're looking for features, you don't need the space of an SUV. If you're looking for features, go for any of the Sonatas. You're going to get more features per dollar than a mid-size SUV in this mid-size car. And it's a big car. It's got a lot of space in there. But the way I break it down is the hybrid model. Yes, that is the efficiency model. The hybrid is good for efficiency. However, that is the car for people who kind of just want something quiet, luxurious, comfortable. If that's what you're looking for in a sedan, hybrid makes perfect sense. It drives well, it's calm, it's nice, it's just relaxing, it's great. And then there's what I call the budget model, the lower trim levels, which are perfectly fine cars. And then there's this car. This car has 290 horsepower, 311 foot-pounds of torque, which is absolutely silly for this type of car. And all of that torque is available low in the power and the rev range, but it is still very comfortable. It still has a little bit of a firm ride, but that's okay. It's not in any way uncomfortable, but it corners very flat. So you gain this fun-to-drive factor that really steps it up from what I would call sort of more the entry-level Sonatas. but you still have all of the ride essentially characteristics of that car. The regular ride on this car is a comfortable ride. It's not like the hybrid where it's that ultimate silence where the hybrid can run without the gasoline engine. There is some noise to this car, but it's fun noise. And it's just a better car in a lot of ways, and it's a really screaming good value. So let's just take a quick look at value, and then we'll jump into the car. Here we go. $37,999. Now that may seem like a lot to you, but I guarantee you if you were to get a crossover vehicle with this kind of features, you're at least $10,000 more for that. So that's why this is kind of a really great option. If you want to really impress people with a really nice car when they hop inside, that's what this is. So let's start with the key fob. This is it. Lock, unlock, hold the trunk, hold for the panic button, and hold for the remote start. Remote start is now standard on this vehicle, so that's kind of a nice thing. You can remote start it winter, summer, whatever you want. And that is a keyless entry key. It's going to stay in my pocket the whole time. Is this a hybrid? No, this one's not the hybrid. There is a hybrid model. We've done a video of that. It's got like a solar panel on the roof, so you can check our channel for that. And this one is the N-Line with a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, so still very fuel efficient, dual clutch transmission, so fast shifting and efficient transmission, and it's a lot of fun to drive. We're gonna start right here by jumping right inside. It is a black car, it's hard to see, there's a little black button right there, but that would be all I have to tap to hop in the car. This one does not have leather, sort of. Now, I'm not a huge fan of leather because I find that leather can be scratched a little bit easily. It's, you slip around on it, it can get hot in the summer and cool in the winter. This one is a suede, microfiber-y type suede, which is good for a couple reasons. You still have some leather side bolsters here. You still have a nice little N badge up top. And these are sport seats that are actually very comfortable, but there's a reason they're comfortable. So the suede area, they do this on sports cars because it keeps you in the seat. It grips you in the seat. And this seat is all about that, but it's just very comfortable on a long drive as well. And the benefit is, in the summer, it doesn't get that hot. In the winter, it heats up quicker with your heated seats. It's a great combination. Down here, you have what would be the typical power seat adjustments. You have a lumbar adjustment here, and then there's this little switch right there. This is the magic switch that makes everything wonderful. The first time I saw that was on the Kia Stinger. Kia Stinger doesn't have it on the GT Limited anymore. You have to move up trim lines, but you get it here at this price point. And what it does is it takes the side bolsters and pinches them together. So even if you're very thin, you can have a seat that holds you in place. If you're larger, you just set it out a little bit wider. It seems like a silly thing, but I feel like every car should have this kind of adjustment in it because it just holds you in place. It fits you perfectly. It's like a custom-made seat just for you, but it's not uncomfortable in like you're feeling really pinched in because if you need a little bit more room around, you can loosen it. And I like keeping it nice and snug on me. I guess I like being hugged. Maybe that's something about my childhood. I don't know. A lot to figure out in there. Anyways, it hugs you in, but even when it's loose, even if it's fully loose, it still has a large side bolster. So it's really good that way. So we're gonna turn the vehicle to the on position. We're gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna show you the gauges as well. So you guys all love digital gauges, and that's what this car has. Ooh, my lights just turned out in my room. So let me just fix that for a second here because I have a pickup truck in the way, and there's a light sensor behind that, and it doesn't stay on. So we're gonna fix that really quickly so we can keep the lights on. There we go. All right, so I want to show you the digital gauge cluster in here because you guys really like it, and for good reason. You should like it. It's fantastic. So what it's going to tell us right now is there's a setting when you have the vehicle turned on or even just running, the car is capable of turning itself off after half an hour. So you won't waste gas, and you, in my case right now, won't waste battery. I've got it on just the 12-volt battery because I'm indoors. I don't want to run the fumes. But if you forget to turn it off, you're not going to end up having a dead battery in the morning. So that's a really good feature to have. So what we're going to do is look at this digital dash now. There's some things I can't show you unless I put my foot on the brake. Hey, that worked better. Right side tach, left side speedometer. And somebody might say, hey, I don't really like the look of those. Well, let's just change them with the drive mode. Sport mode, different font, different color. Sport Plus mode stays the same. And the custom mode, which you go back to this sort of style. So pretty cool availability of that sort of adjustment of the gauges, but you also have a number of things you can put in here. You can cycle through, for instance, this one is your lane keep, there we go, lane keep, and that is an actual picture of this car, like same model, right? So you have a pretty cool system there. Let's just go across again. There's your if you have your GPS set, you can see your navigation information in there. These are very common. Ignore fuel efficiency numbers. These are dealership cars. They sit around dealership lots. They're always worse than they would be in person. Driver tension level, tire pressure monitors. You have other select comments or content in there. And this one is one I really kind of like. It is the gauges, and it has the temperature gauge, a torque in newtons, which I think is silly because nobody knows what a newton meter is, even though we're Canadian and we're supposed to know the metric system. And then PSI. So PSI is pressure in, like, you know, pounds per square inch. Why wouldn't newton meters be torque, pound feet? Anyways, yeah, so they are gauges, but you can see them move when you're driving. It gives you a little bit extra excitement when you're driving, which is pretty cool. The other thing this has is, you may say, where's the digital speedometer right there? Well, you don't really need one. I mean, you can set things up, but you do have a really good heads-up display. Now, you can sort of see, it's really hard to film it. You can see rain on the windshield, but it is a heads-up display down there, which gives you a lot of information. So the best thing about the heads-up display, in my mind, gives you your speed, gives you your blind spot information, it gives you your navigation information. My favorite thing that it does is it gives you blind spot information. So instead of having to check the mirror and seeing the orange light, you can see it directly in front of you. So when you're driving, before you even check your mirrors, left or right, you will know that someone's in your blind spot. So of course, always check your mirrors if you don't see it, but if you do see the light, somebody is definitely there. And it just kind of gives you a little bit more awareness of what's around you, because I'm pretty alert when I drive. I'm always checking my mirrors, certainly more than some people I know. But I find I really like that because it just lets me know someone's there. So you kind of feel in control with this car, and that's what I really like. You've got good power. Even in a rainy day like today, you've got good tires that keep grip even in the rain. Instant torque. So when we talk about torque, I can't say instant torque because we're not talking electric vehicles, but the torque on this car comes on at about 1400 RPM. So if you think about where this car is going to idle and run, in around the 1000 RPM is going to where it's idle, just a hair below. 1400 RPM is going to sit right there. If you put it in Sport Plus mode, it's pretty much never going to drop the tach below that. So you've always got maximum torque. Now, maximum torque is 311 foot-pounds of torque. If you don't know cars' numbers, if you don't pay attention to that kind of thing, that's just a silly amount of torque for a car like this. Like, powerful is like 200, 250 is often very good. So 311. And then most of the time when you have those higher numbers, you have to rev the snot out of the engine to get into those power numbers. This one's going to have full torque from about here, most of the way up through the power band. And the torque is the power you feel. It's the power that pulls you forward. So it's just a fun car to drive. You can see they've got some little accents in here, red stitching on the steering wheel, and then you've got this sort of perforated look. This is, again, similar to their N-Line stuff across throughout the lineup. You've got a little N badge down there, so N-Line car with an N badge. This one does not have a gear shift. So on the gear shift the other day we showed on the N-Line Kona, we had a little N badge on the gear shift. This one has the push buttons. Now, these apparently are controversial, and I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of used to think they were too. But here's the thing. If you buy this car, or if you're like me, you hop in a Hyundai pretty much every day, every other day at the very least, you just get used to it instantly. So although it's different, it's not something that bothers me. What I like about the push button area is it just kind of frees up a little bit of space down here. So when I put my phone on the charger, for instance, which is, this is a wireless charger, a vented wireless charger, I can just easily reach that, easily reach everything. It just gives you a little bit more feeling of space in here. So taking a look over here, USB port, 12-volt port. The wireless charger here is an increased wireless charger over some of the previous Hyundai ones. It's like a 15-watt charger instead of a 5, or I have to double check. Maybe I'm wrong on the numbers, but the point is it's an increased power output, and it has the venting in there. So as your phone's charging, it gets a little hot. Well, now you've got some venting in there to keep it cooler, which is a really good system. Down here, you have the top climate control system we have in any car, pretty much. It is a dual zone system. So you've got the sync button here. If I sync these together, you'll see it immediately goes to the same temperature for both. And then you have this auto function with the 3 levels. When I have it set to the 3 levels right now, it will bring the fan up to full high speed and cool it or warm it up quickly. When I start turning it down, it'll keep it quieter, it'll keep it similar, and it'll just take a little longer to reach there, but it keeps it nice and calm in the cabin there. So that's kind of nice. So dual zone, you can also set the auto to not blast the cold. Sometimes what happens is somebody opens the door to get out in the store, they come back in, they let a lot of heat in the car. Now the air conditioning's blasting, so now they're getting freezing cold air throwing at them hard, and then it comes back down. So sometimes once the car's up to temperature or down to temperature, when you have a situation like that, you just want it to just gradually bring that car back to normal temperature, and that's what this now does. It's a silly little thing that is really good. It's something that I would have thought about adding, but it makes a ton of sense. Heated steering wheel's over here. I like that a lot. And your heated seats are over here, rump roasters. Now, this is the one car where a lot of our cars, if you tap it on, you get full heat. This one, you gotta tap it up to full heat. So again, not being leather seats, not a real issue for me. But the Sonata seems to not turn on full blast first. It turns on the lower trim level, then the higher, or lower level, and then the higher level. So good rump roasters there. Actually, I already felt them warming up. So that's how quick they are. They're really quick on these non-leather seats. In here is the sort of everything stereo. You can see I've got satellite radio. You can see I've got a widget here for weather that is currently unavailable, probably because we're inside. It's pouring rain outside. And then you also have the navigation app. Now, of course, you also have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay here. You also have multiple users, so I can change the user from the guest to driver 1 to driver 2, and that can change a whole bunch of settings in the car. So you can customize this whole thing to yourself. If you don't care about the weather widget, but let's say you want navigation over here, your radio over here, and you want some other widgets in there, you can go through and you can edit the home widgets. So you can see you can add a clock, a map, a radio, weather. There's other things I believe you, oops, I just switched it all around. So there we go. So you can add some stuff in here, put the clock in instead of weather, all kinds of stuff, which is pretty cool. This is a Bose audio system. So again, for the value, you're getting a Bose audio system with satellite radio. Center point sound is what they call it. So it's a really sharp, where does it say center point? Somewhere it says center point. Maybe you have to go back to the home. Oh, we'll just go to the radio. Oh, maybe that one. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I dropped in the wrong car. Center point sound is in a different car. I was driving 2 of these today and I got in the wrong car. But the point is you have all the information here, and then you have sounds of nature, which is a little bit silly, HD radio data, which I'm not sure we'll get right now because we are inside, but let's see if we can see some Doppler radar. Yeah, you can see it's really raining all around here right now. So just a nice little weather station in the car, which is pretty cool, and fuel prices, all kinds of things. Navigation radio. Blue Link is the other thing I should point out. Blue Link, remember we talked about the remote starter on the key fob? Well, you also have a remote starter and a whole bunch of other functions on your cell phone. This is my icon for cell phone. That's what I do. Anyways, so on your cell phone, you can remote start the car. You can lock it, unlock it. You can do things to make sure it's locked. I always get notifications when my wife leaves our car unlocked. So I'm sitting at work and bling, your car's unlocked. Oh, great. So you can do all those things from your cell phone. You can check for various things, health of the vehicle, all kinds of things. So really good cell phone app that controls the vehicle. And of course, that's available on this car as well. One other thing I want to point out when I start looking up here, nice little thin frame mirror. It looks to me like it's a auto tinting mirror. It's got a little bit of a different color, see on the bottom than the top. I'm pretty sure it is. And I didn't check the specs, but I'm 95% sure. And then you also have the 3 buttons on the bottom here. If you had 3 garage doors to open, you could do that. I only have 1. But if you have a nicer place than me, you can open all 3 garage doors. Looking up here, you have, what's nice is you have these nice LED, whoops, sorry. Meant to flip the camera around. Nice LED lights here. So they are bright white LED, and that's what you want in just a richer feeling car. The other thing that's kind of nice around here is when you look through this car, you've got this red stitching, which we showed you before. It's in the seating. It's up on the dash. It's in the doors. And then you have a grayed out color. It's not quite black. It's grayed out in the whole vehicle, including the top. Now, a lot of these Sonatas and most of our cars, they have the lighter beigey kind of roof. So this one just creates the illusion of more sporty feeling. And then you have my favorite feature, the panoramic roof. And this is absolutely incredible. Big panel, big opening roof. I'm not going to open it right now because there is some water in it and I don't think it'll spill in on me, but it could, and I don't want to. So there is that. All right, so what we're going to do right now, we're about 18 and a half, 19 minutes into this video. Had about 40 of you on just a second ago, down to 35. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. I'm going to jump out, take your questions. So if you have a question, now's a good time to type it because it takes a couple seconds to get to me. So start typing your questions if you have any. We'll go through your questions and then we're going to go rear seat, trunk space, lighting. We're going to focus on a whole bunch of other things in this vehicle, including some tech if you want to see that as well. Got another 10 minutes to spend at least. We'll stay longer if you have great questions and we'll jump out right now. All right. My light turned off again, so we're going to go turn that on, and then we'll jump right back into my computer here, and I can see your questions. I saw some of them coming in earlier, but I don't always answer them right away at the beginning of the video. So let me just go back to them. I'm going to let you look at the car because it's much prettier than I am. I want to show you these wheels really quickly. They don't show up great on camera. On camera, you sort of just see the silver kind of color. In person, you don't see that nearly as much. You see the darker side of it here. It's just a cool looking wheel in person. I really like it. Veloster N versus Sonata N, which one is best? Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so remember that N is different than N-Line. The Veloster N is a just silly performance car. The N-Line cars are everyday cars with more power. So kind of like a grand touring car, which is a sport car, but it's not a race car. The Veloster N is an absolute blast to drive. It makes silly noises. It is go-kart stiff to drive sometimes, but it just makes you smile all the time. Now, I'll be honest with you, my wife's not gonna be smiling in that car. She's not gonna like it. She's gonna find it a little too aggressive, a little too noisy, a little too, firm ride, that kind of thing. And the way I'm gonna drive that car, I'm not gonna slow down around corners, and she's not gonna love that. This car is a regular car with sporting potential and sporting feel. So definitely this car for my family car, my wife will be happy. Definitely Veloster N for my own personal enjoyment. My kids would love it for short trips and that kind of thing. Hold on, somebody just asked a question about my wife unloading a car. So let me just let me read the comment here. Okay, we're gonna go through some of your comments here. So if your wife was unloading the car and left her keys in it, would you still get a notice that the car was unlocked? Oh, that's a good question. So on the Blue Link system, if you left your keys in the car was unlocked, I would still get a note. Oh no, if the key was in it, I wouldn't get notified. You're right. If you're sitting in the car with the keys in it, I don't get notified. When I get notified is the key comes out of the car and the car is left unlocked for a certain length of time. Then I get notifications, and she could get them as well. She doesn't want them on her phone, so that's fine. But yeah, you can get notifications on your phone. So what happens is if you leave the car and you forget to log it, by the time you're in the store, it's like, hey, did you mean to leave your car unlocked? And then you just lock it from your phone and you're good to go, because you don't have to come back within range to do it. So real quickly, guys, just gonna jump in here. I'm answering your questions right now. Do me a favor. I got 48 of you on. It'd be really cool if you could all spend 1 second and hit that like button. It just really helps me out. I'll give you half an hour of my time. I'm asking you for a split second of yours. So if you could do that, we're gonna try to, we got 20 likes. Let's see if we can get to 40 likes. All right. Where's Teddy? Teddy, we're gonna throw in the trunk a little bit later. Is it available in Calgary Northwest? I'm sure it is. 2022 Tucson N-Line. I'm waiting to see the Tucson N-Line. As soon as it shows up, I will get it here, I promise. Does this compare to the K5 GT line? Oh yeah, K5 GT line, pretty much the same car. So I think the K5, I can't remember what the K5 has. It has a couple things that are a little bit better, or one thing that's quote unquote better. This car has better seats. So K5 has leather, this does not. The K5 GT has ventilated seats here in Canada, this one does not. So those are the betters there. So leather with ventilated, whereas this one's sort of the suede without ventilated. But this one has the side bolsters that squeeze in better, so this one's better that way. But very, very similar cars between those two. Out of all the cars in the Kia Hyundai lineup, the K5 GT and the Sonata N-Line are probably the closest car. What kind of engines does this car have? 2.5 liter turbo engine, 311 foot-pounds of torque, 290 horsepower. Very well tuned, very good. And it's also got a dual clutch automatic transmission, so that's good. Love this midsize sedan, one of the best out there, says Brandon. Yeah, it's a great car. All right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna do backseat tests. Now, here's why I like to do backseat tests. A lot of things have measurements, and they'll say, oh, you have this many millimeters or this many inches of room, and it tells you absolutely nothing. The point is it comfortable in here? And I'm gonna, I can't point it out. I always make fun of Tesla Model 3s because they have terrible back seats. I was in a Tesla Model S Ludicrous Plus this morning. Terrible back seat. When they hit the gas, my head hit the ceiling that came down too low because I can't put my head on the headrest. I hit it on the ceiling, and my legs aren't on the seat. It's a terrible back seat. There's nothing you can do to convince me that that car has a comfortable back seat. It's not comfortable. Let me show you why this one is so much better than that $100,000 plus car. First of all, watch this when I get in. First of all, you've got a big opening here. It's as easy to get into as an SUV. Second of all, even though I have a big panoramic glass roof, I have headroom. When I put my head back, I hit that headrest. I don't hit the roof panel behind me. So I love Teslas. I think they're great. I think they're really driving the EV marketplace. I think they're doing good things. They've got terrible back seats, people. They're not comfortable when you take your guests in them. So down here, the other problem, Tesla Model S, $100,000 plus car. My legs are up like this in the seat. So I don't have any support. I'm just putting all my weight on my tailbone. And if you got a nice little bony butt like me, half an hour in, you're not comfortable. Down here, my legs are on the seat. I'm comfortable. My legs, I can move them around anywhere I want. I've got lots and lots and lots of legroom. So again, I like those cars, but I don't like that. And there's so many times that people don't spend any time thinking about the back seat. So why I do these back seat tests? Because you can put measurements all the way you want. Point is, when you hit the gas, I'm going to hit my head on the headrest, not on the roof like I did in the Tesla this morning. And your legs are comfortable, and you've got an armrest down here. It's just a better place to take your friends, even if it doesn't have Ludicrous Plus mode. Still very fun to drive, still very quick. All right, so back here as well, you've got some nice little details like heated rear seats. Not something you expected, but that is kind of nice to have. You've also got these plastic back seats, which if you have kids are easy to wipe down and keep clean. You've got the pocket only on the passenger side. I don't know why they do that. I think it should be on both sides. I get it, the driver, but maybe the passenger wants to put stuff away somewhere. Anyways, vents down here to keep your guests comfortable, and you've also got a USB port as well. Will there be an N Sonata? I would doubt it, but they're kind of N-ing everything. Like, they're not N-lining. So the Elantra is out with the N-line, or it's coming out. They're going to talk about that. The Kona is out with the N, and of course the Veloster N. So I don't know. I would doubt it because it seems like they've got the right mix. But I really like the N-Line as an everyday kind of car. All right, coming back here, you've got some cool little details here that don't show up on the black painted car the same way they would on other cars. These are black here, so of course that would be different than the body color if it was not black. They are different than the body color, but they look similar on video. You got these little fins here. All this is about aerodynamics, and let's be honest, it's styling as well. Coming all the way back here, you've got your little backup camera that's built into the body here. Nice sharp entrance there. Now there's a couple ways to open the trunk. I'm gonna cheat and use this way right here by holding that button there. You also can set up the Smart Trunk. Smart Trunk takes the proximity key, and because it knows that the key is within proximity of the car, I could stand behind the car once the setting is set, wait there for a few seconds, like a second or so, and then it'll beep 5 times in 3 seconds, and the trunk will release and pop up, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to take, if I'm carrying my stuff right here, let me just show you this way. So I'm walking up to the trunk, I'm carrying my gear. I don't want to have to put it down in the snow or the ice. I don't want to have to wave my foot underneath the car like a lot of our competitors make you do, where you're standing on snow and ice and you're waving your foot. You don't want to do that. So you're carrying your gear, you don't have to set it down, you wait by the back of the car, bing, trunk opens in there, you're good to go. All right. Got about 50 people on. We're aiming today, guys, for about 40 likes. So we're about 14 likes away, just over 50 people on. See if you can hit that like button for me. We'll keep going here. In the trunk, pretty good space in here. Now, again, when we talk about SUVs versus cars, SUVs have the advantage of a larger opening. If you don't need the larger opening, you probably are going to be shocked with the amount of space in a modern sedan. In the trunk, anyways. So Teddy Bear, as you know, he's in all of my videos, or many of my videos. And when we compare trunk space, I throw Teddy Bear up against the back seats. Teddy Bear could move a little this way. His wheel well is crunching his leg there. But back here, there's a ton of space. We'll pull him back in a second. But if I look down in from the top, you could fit 2 teddy bears in here. His arm could be tucked in there, and there is room for a second teddy bear. The floor space in this car is phenomenal for the trunk. So you've got a lot of floor space. And again, you throw Teddy back here, and look at the width. I put his head tucked in the corner, and usually he's crunched in by space, but again, a ton of width. So the amount of grocery bags, the amount of luggage, the amount of stuff you can take in this car is actually seriously impressive. And of course, you can still fold the seats down, so longer items can still fit. The only time you're gonna regret not buying that SUV is that one time when you go buy that dishwasher and decide you're gonna save the $15 delivery fee and try to throw it in your trunk. You're not gonna be able to fit your dishwasher in this car like you could the Kona, but you will, of course, fit everything else. Okay, let's drop this down here. So what we're gonna do is show you lighting real quick, and then we're gonna go back to your questions. I saw some questions coming in that I missed that I know I should get to. Let me just turn the push button start to the on position again, which it won't do because I'm not quite in the car. There we go. Lighting is pretty cool in this car. So what we're gonna do is, well, we'll turn the full headlights on. So when you see the Sonata, one of the things it's got is this chrome line that runs right along here, and it goes right up around there and comes back to the top. This chrome line, if we follow it down, turns into a light. Now on my video, it will eventually start flickering because it flickers based on sometimes when it sees certain type of camera. But this turns into very much a light instead of just a chrome strip. So it kind of blends in, very hard to film, easier to see in person. It looks super cool in person. And then of course you have LED lighting right there. Do you see how that brightly comes on? That is a super sharp cutoff, low mounted, excellent LED light. And you have a really clear, sharp line. The reason I like LED lights is they give you a daylight type color. So when you're driving at night, you can see exactly what you're coming up on. So if it's a little rabbit, your brain will automatically recognize it because it's the same coloring as it would be in the daytime. It's really, really good. And you have automatic high beams, which means when you come in, yes, is it LED lighting standard? Yes, it is on this N-Line. So when you come in to the country and you have automatic high beams, they'll turn on automatically and then they can dim themselves back down when they see traffic in front of you. But one of the things that they do really cool is they also dim themselves when you have city lights. So you can pretty much leave your high beams on almost all the time because the system is so smart it can figure out exactly when they need to be on or off. And what I find when I'm driving at night is there are times I wouldn't have turned my high beams on yet, but I could have. And you realize how much you're not seeing. So if you drive through the country like me sometimes, those high beams that come on automatically, really impressive to whether they come on. When you have them on the auto setting, you just don't miss nearly as much. It's a much safer way to drive. Safety features, we can talk about a lot of things too. Let's just mention the car steers itself, keeps itself centered in lane. The car's got smart cruise control. So you can keep yourself centered in lane with lane keep, lane follow assist. You got the smart cruise. Does it have smart cruise? Now, see, I was in the wrong car I was in a different car this morning preparing for another video. Yes, still has smart cruise control as well. And then it has features like forward collision avoidance. I believe this one has junction collision avoidance as well. So a lot of collision avoidance things. A lot of people ask me about safety ratings. And safety ratings used to be, does the car crunch well? Does it brake nicely? Does it absorb the impact? And that's what, if you're still talking about safety ratings in terms of crash, most cars can do that without a whole lot of difficulty. What the real thing we're looking for now is collision avoidance. And this car has a lot of those collision avoidance systems, and that's what you want to see. All right, we are just a hair over 30 minutes, 32 minutes in now. I made it to 29 likes. There's 50 of you on right now. I was trying to go for 40 likes. So if there's 11 of you out there that have hung out with me for a little bit and haven't hit the like button, do me a favor. If all 50 of you hit the like button right now, we're going to blow right past. We're going to probably have 300, 400 people on this video easily. So see if you can hit that like button. I don't ask for much, but I do give you 30 minutes, and I ask for like 1 click. I think that's like a fair trade-off. Taking delivery of Forte 5 EX, your videos help me make my decisions. Thanks, Peter. That's cool. Hopefully you're not like local and you didn't buy from us, right? All right. Flicker happens because the frame rate of the camera. Yeah, okay. We know the LED lights, they will sometimes flicker on the camera. It just doesn't happen in real life. Some people think that's the car, and it's not. It's just the way the camera interacts with the lights. Do you think there will be a plug-in version of this car? That's a really interesting question. I think there's potential for a plug-in version of this car. We know there is a hybrid version, but of course they've never announced it. But we do know, electrification is happening in the auto market. Right now there is none, but it's very interesting. There could be. Aside from the sporty N-Line Sonata you have now, do you think there'd be a plug-in? Oh, okay, we asked, sorry, got that question twice. Thank you for representing us bony butts. I'm here for you. That's me. Although I have put on more weight since the pandemic started. When did the original Sonata come out? Oh, that's a good one. Original Sonata, we're going ways back. There was the Stellar, I remember the 2002-ish Sonata, but I know there was one before that, I believe. I don't remember. You know what, my history is not good right now. Is there anything else that I missed, guys, that you guys think I should answer? Is there a question you asked? I'm just outside of Montreal. Oh yeah, okay. If you're outside Montreal, you can totally buy from another dealer. Good dealers out there. So congratulations on your new Forte. All right, I think we're going to leave it there, guys. Doesn't seem like there's too many more questions. We are still 5 short of our goal of 40 likes, so if you want to do that, we can. Coming up this week, tomorrow I've got the Kia Carnival. We just picked up a new one right beside that Toyota minivan out there. Still wrapped in plastic. We'll have probably that one. There's 2 Carnivals here today. We might have another one in here as well. We got picked up 2. So one of them will be in here tomorrow. That's the EX Plus model. The EX Plus model is all the tech pretty much, but not the lounge seats, those lazy boy style seats. So we'll have that tomorrow. Well worth it. I really quite like that minivan, and I don't love minivans. So yeah, can I speak with a Santa Fe plug-in hybrid? I can, but I haven't seen one yet. So we'll talk about Santa Fe plug-in hybrid. We know there's going to be a Sorento plug-in hybrid. At least I know there's going to be a Sorento plug-in hybrid, and I'm allowed to tell you about that, even if Kia hasn't told you about that yet. So those cars, we'll talk about them for sure. Tomorrow we'll talk about the Carnival. No matter how much I beg, there's 5 of you just hanging out there, 4 of you hanging out there going, I am not giving you my like no matter what. So it looks like we won't hit 40 likes while we're live. We'll just hit it after we're live. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow. Should be less rain. Next week is going to be interesting. And we're going to go back to doing some Kia classes. Kia classes are 3 to 5 minute videos of an individual feature. They were really well received. We kind of did as many as we could. So we're going to do Kia Hyundai classes now. Going to do that over the summer months and get a whole bunch of videos. So if there's a feature you want to know about, just let me know in the comments below. Say, hey, can you include this feature in your Kia Hyundai class? And I'll start making a list so you can comment there. All right, I tried to get some likes. You guys are holding out on me. I get it. It's tough to hit that button. It's just the mouse sticks sometimes and just, you know. Anyways, we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. It's been a lot of fun. We will see you tomorrow.